Hello friends. This is Munya Scripts from Munya Scripts Lifestyle and Gary Films Production. Today I've come up with something that I've called the 11 rules to writing good poetry, and this is something that we are going to be discussing together and see how can we improve our creativity in poetry. Have you taken some good time, maybe from high school up to now to date, you have not been writing any poetry and you want to resume? So let us call this a beginner's guide that will teach you the basics and have you write poetry in no time. Okay, so if you consider these 11 rules, you'll have started on the succeeding with poetry writing or coming up with wonderful poems that everyone will look at and say, wow, these are good. So let me come here and get Microsoft. Let me use that version. So in this video we are going to be discussing the rules, 11 rules for writing good poetry. Okay, so within no time I'm going to be beginning, and remember, within the description of this wonderful video you can support us by buying any merchandise on this channel, maybe a t-shirt, maybe a sticker, as you see them below this video. The other thing is, this video is proudly sponsored by Distrokid. So if at all you want to distribute your poems, your music, anything that is digital and in audio format, endeavor to see that you use the link in the description of this video to see that you use the link in the description of this video to see that you get your music out to Spotify, any platform. And it is also sponsored by Universal Institute of Graphics and Technology in Uganda, where I tutor in 3D animation and graphics designing. So endeavor to see that you call them out and ask them. So I'll be sharing their contacts below this video, and here we start off with our video. So this video, we are, as we started, whereby I told you that we are going to be discussing the 11 rules. Okay, 11 rules for writing what? Writing good poetry. And remember, since it is a heading, let me just highlight it and make it a little bit what? Heading 1. So let me make it a little bit bigger. Let me make it a heading here for us to understand it a little bit what? A little bit better. Make it bold and underlined. So the number one what? The number one rule. Okay, let us start with our number one rule, that is, read a lot of poetry. Okay, so we are going to be discussing them. So here you have to read a lot of poetry. So that is our number one. You have to read a lot of poetry. So as we discuss this, what I have to say is, if you want to write poetry, start by reading a lot of poetry. You can do this in a casual way by letting the words of your favorite poems wash over you. Like, you can do this in a casual way by letting the words of your favorite poems wash over you without necessarily digging from deeper meaning. Or you can delve into analysis dissect an illegally in a Robert Frost verse, ponder the underlying meaning of an Edward. So besides that, okay, let us do not complicate stuff. Let us do it in the simple way for you to understand, okay? For you to understand, like for you to come up with a good poem, at least try your level best to see that you read a lot of poems, okay? So as you read those different poems, you also get experience and you get to see how things are done. You also get to notice some stuff. Maybe they are more of rhythms, they are more of you understand. So read more as you also want to write, okay? Then listen to live poetry recitations. So as you listen, so number two is listen live listen to live poetry recitations. So okay, what I have to say about this is the experience of consuming poetry does not have to be an academic exercise in cataloging poetic devices like alliteration, okay, and metonymy, okay. It can be musical, such as when you attend a poetry slam for the first time and hear the snappy consonants of a poem out loud. Many bookstores and coffee houses have poetry readings, and these can be both fun and instructive for aspiring poets. By listening to the sounds of good poetry, you discover the beauty of its construction. The mix of stressed syllables and unstressed syllables, alliteration and assonance, a well-placed internal rhythm. So, are you saying that? So, as you also go to different places, learn or have that habit of listening to live poetry recitations. So, meaning that most of the times, not that all poems are just written. So they are out there, a number of poems in audio format. So at least buy those tapes, buy those CDs, visit libraries. At times they have that, coffee shops, whereby you can listen to different poems, okay, written by different people, and you borrow ideas. You listen to how they write, how they come up with their wording, and a lot of stuff, okay. And the other thing is, remember that this channel is basically aimed at saying that we improve our ideas or improve the life and well-being of a creative person. And this channel is basically called MUCIAN Lifestyle. And the music that is basically playing behind is by MUCIAN. I'm also an artist and a video director and also a graphics designer who is passionate about art, who is passionate about creativity, and seeing that the life of a creative person is improved for the better all over Africa. So like this, these are the songs that are basically behind. That is MUCIAN, that is Flora by MUCIAN, and Wadaweyo by MUCIAN. So if at all you have loved them, you can get them on Spotify, on any streaming platform out there. I'll be even sharing the links in the description, okay? So back to our topic. Then number 3 on our rules, start small, okay? Number 3 is start what? Start small, okay? So a short poem like haiku or a simple rhyming poem might be more attainable than diving into a narrative epic. Okay? A simple rhyming poem can be a non-intimidating entryway to a poetry writing, okay, or to poetry writing. Do not mistake quantity for quality, okay? A pristine 7-line free verse poem is more impressive than a sloppy, rambling epic of blank verse, iambic, but pentameter, okay? Even though it probably took far less time to compose, okay? What you should understand is, yeah, you can start small, because as a beginner, don't expect to be like writing huge content that would get people, that will leave people speechless. At least come up with something that is a little bit short, because you're just beginning or you're just new to the content. You need to do a lot of research. You need to come up with a lot of ideas that you may not have at the start. So start with something that is small, okay? Then number 4, do not obsess over So in this one, okay, so our number 4 says do not obsess over, or do not get obsessed over your first line. So you find that if you do not feel you have exactly the right words to open your poem, do not give up there. Keep writing and come back, okay? Keep writing and come back to the first line when you are ready, okay? The opening line is just one content of of an overall piece of art that you are basically creating. Do not give it more outsized importance than it needs, which is a common mistake among the first-time poets. So you rely more of your first words or your opening words, and find that you even lose the morale of continuing to write the poem, okay? So you can first write the whole poem, then you keep on coming back and improving it for the better, okay? So remember that. Then number 5 is embrace tools, okay? Number 5 is embrace the what? Okay, let us start with this. Embrace tools. So with embrace tools, what I can say about it, if a thesaurus or a rhyming dictionary will help you complete a poem, use it, okay? So if you are in need of a dictionary, in need of anything that will help you complete your poem in the right way or as you wish to do, please use it. You shouldn't be surprised how many professional writers also make use of these tools. Just be sure, okay? Just be sure that you understand the true meaning of the words you insert in your poem, okay? So endeavor to see that for any, maybe you need a dictionary, maybe you need to understand some words, because use the words that you understand, that use the words that are basically relevant in your poem. Don't just write, because you may insert a word and it derives you from what you wanted to mean, but you're looking at maybe making words rhyme. Okay, so endeavor to see at least you embrace the use of what? Of tools. Then number 6 is enhance. So enhance the poetic from within, from literally devices. So enhance the poetic from within, from with. Okay, enhance the poetic form, okay, with literary devices. Like any form of writing, poetry is enhanced by literary devices. Develop your poetry writing skills by inserting metaphors, allegory, and synekoche, metonymy, imagery, and other literary devices into your poems. Okay, this can be relatively easy in a unrhymed form like free verse, and more challenging in poetic forms that have strict rules about meta and rhyme scheme. Okay, let us go about this a little bit more. Like any form of writing, poetry is enhanced by literary devices. Develop your poetry by writing. Develop your poetry writing skills by inserting metaphor, okay, allegory, then synekoche, metonymy, imagery, and other literary devices into your poems. This can be relatively easy in unrhymed form like free verse, and more challenging in poetic forms that have strict rules about meta and rhyme scheme. Then 7, try telling a story with your poem. Okay, number 7 is try telling a story with your what? Your poem. So this means basically have a story to tell. Don't just do what? Don't just write. Okay? So don't just write without no aim. Okay? Many of the ideas you might express in a novel, a short story, or any easy, okay, or any. So let us try this. Try telling a story with your poem. Okay, what I can say about it is many of the ideas you might express in a novel, a short story, or an essay can come out in a poem. Okay, a narrative poem like The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot can be as long as a novel. Okay, so at least have something to tell with your story, have something to communicate. Okay, another one is The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Expresses just as much dread and menace as some horror movies. As with all forms of English language writing, communication is the name of the game in the poetry. Okay, so if you want to tell short stories in your poems, embrace that instinct. Okay, so have something to tell, have a cause. Okay, so that is how your poems will end up getting people touched, getting people moved. Okay, then number 8 is, let us go to number 8, express big ideas. Okay, so express big ideas. Okay, so as a poet, okay, express big ideas. A lyric poem like Vanish, Air from Air, okay, express big ideas. A lyric poem like Vanish, Air from Air by Emily Dixon can express some of the same philosophical and political concepts you may articulate, okay, in an essay. Because good poetry is about precision of language, you can express a whole physiology. You can express the whole philosophy in very few words if you choose them carefully. Okay, so have ideas to express, have ideas that you are to give out, okay, within your poems. So however much with a poem you have to be a little bit brief, but have something that you have to express. So it is like, try to tell a story, have something big that you are passing on. Okay, then paint with words is number 9. Okay, so paint with words. So paint with words. When a poet paints paint with words. When a poet paints with words, they use word choice to figuratively paint concrete images in a reader's mind. So are you saying that have something you're basically painting in the reader's mind? Okay, then in the field of visual art, okay, fine, in the reader's mind. Then in the field of the visual artist, okay, painting pictures of course refers to the act of representing people, objects and scenery for viewers to behold with their own eyes. Okay, in the creative writing, painting pictures also refers to producing vivid picture of people, objects and scenes, but the artist's medium is the written word. Okay, so it is like with your words as you write, paint a picture in someone's mind who is basically reading your poem. Okay, then familiarize yourself with familiarize yourself with mild, okay, forms of poetry. So forgive me with the pronunciation of some words, but let me hope since I'm writing them, at least we can move on the same word, on the same steps. Familiarize, okay, familiarize yourself with mild forms of poetry. Okay, so in a little words, what you should at least understand with this, with each different form of poetry, okay, it has its own requirements. Okay, rhythm schemes, number of lines, meter, subject matter, and more that make them unique from other types of poems. Think of these structures as the poetic equivalent of the grammar rules that govern purpose, that govern prose writing. Okay, whether you are writing a villanelle, okay, a 19-line poem consisting of 5 couplets and quatrain with a highly specified internal rhythm scheme, or 3-verse poem, or a 3-verse poetry which has no rules regarding length, meter, or rhythm scheme. It's important to thrive within the boundaries of the type of the poem you have chosen. Okay, even if you eventually compose all your work as one particular type poem, versatility is still a valuable skill. Let me hope you have understood that. Then our last one, that is number 11 of the 11 rules. So our last one is connecting with other poets. Okay, connecting with other poets. So our number 11 is basically connecting with other poets. Okay, poets connect with one another via poetry readings and perhaps poetry writing classes. Poets in an artistic community often read each other's works. Okay, so recite their poems aloud. Okay, and provide feedback on first drafts. Okay, good poetry can take many forms, as through a community you may encounter different forms that vary from the type of poem you typically write, but are just as artistically inspiring. Seek out a poetry group where you can hear different types of poetry, discuss the art form, jot down or write down new ideas, and learn from the work of your peers. Okay? The supportive community can help you brainstorm ideas, influence your state of mind as an artist, and share poetry exercises that may have helped other members of the group produce greater poetry. Okay? So I think that these ideas at least may help you become better in your poetry writing, or become more improved in your poetry writing. So this is the beginner's guide to poetry writing that I've happened to create out. One is read a lot of poetry so that you may also borrow some ideas. Look at how things are done, basically how people are writing and how they come up with their poems. Listen to live poetry recitations. Start small. Do not obsess over your first line, okay, because it may end up stopping you from completing the poem. Embrace tools. If at all you can access a dictionary, use it please, so that you use words that you typically understand. Okay, so because you may end up using words that may derive or have a different meaning from what you need to mean, then enhance the poetic form with the literary devices. Okay. 7. Try telling a story with your poem. Express big ideas, paint with words, and 10. Familiarize yourself with myriad forms of poetry. Okay, then connecting with other poets, as important as it is connecting with our poets, because you borrow ideas, they advise you, you advise them, and you get to know of maybe some other poet types that you never knew out there. So, and remember that this is the MUCIAN lifestyle channel, where we share a lot of the creative content in as we the creatives. Okay, endeavor to see that you subscribe so that you get notifications wherever you are. Okay, the music in the background is by myself, by MUCIAN lifestyle, whereby you can get to that music from anywhere on Spotify. Okay, the first one is Flora by MUCIAN. I have a lot of music out there that you can go and listen to, and the other one is Wadawa Yo. Okay, also by MUCIAN. Or you can even visit my profile on Spotify, Amazon, on any streaming platform, and listen to that music basically. And remember that we also have platforms, that is latestugmusic.com and latestugmusic.online, where you can post your music and people's or poems or any digital content that you're basically selling, and when people stream it, it is basically free. But when it comes to them to download, for them to download that music, they pay you, and you set your own price. You earn 65% and the site retains 35%. Okay, we've already taught you on how to form a PayPal account that works worldwide, that you only need. Okay, so endeavor to see that you create and earn from your creative content. For any questions, you visit our description section, or you can contact me at this number, that is a plus 256 70 17 0779. So at least we can talk on WhatsApp via that number. So endeavor to see that you talk to me. I can advise you, I can help you, teach you on how to earn from your creative content at just a low price. If at all you want to talk to me individually and you want to improve your creative art and start earning out of it. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe not to miss out on anything that we happen to put